Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in Ripley Department, working in ISL Engineering College. I am taking the subject Power Systems 2 for Ripley third year students. So in previous classes, we have discussed about the performance of short and medium transmission lines. Today's class, I am going to discuss about the performance and analysis of long transmission lines. So transmission line will have three constants: resistance, inductance and capacitance. And all these three are distributed uniformly along the whole length of the transmission line. Resistance and inductance will form the series impedance. Capacitance existing between the conductors for single phase line or from a conductor to neutral for a three-phase line will form a shunt path throughout the length of the line. Therefore, capacitance effects will introduce complications in transmission line calculations. Depending upon the manner in which capacitance is taken into account, overhead transmission lines are classified as short transmission lines, medium transmission lines, and long transmission lines. When the length of overhead transmission line is up to 50 kilometers and line voltage is comparatively low, that is less than 20 kilovolt, it is considered as short transmission line. Due to smaller length and lower voltage, capacitance effects will be small and hence can be neglected. Therefore, while studying the performance of short transmission line, only resistance and inductance of the line are taken into account. Next is medium transmission lines. When the length of an overhead transmission line is about 50 to 150 kilometers and the line voltage is moderately high, that is greater than 20 kilovolt and less than 100 kilovolt, then it is considered as a medium transmission line. Due to sufficient length and voltage of the line, capacitance effects are taken into account. For purposes of calculations, the distributed capacitance of the line is divided and lumped in the form of condensers shunted across the line at one or more points. Long transmission lines. When the length of an overhead transmission line is more than 150 km and line voltage is very high, that is greater than 100 kilovolts, it is considered as a long transmission line. For the treatment of such a line, the line constants are considered uniformly distributed over the whole length of the line and rigorous methods are employed for the solution. Exact solution of any transmission line must consider the fact that the constants of the line are not lumped but are distributed uniformly throughout the length of the line. However, reasonable accuracy can be obtained by considering these constants as lumped for short and medium transmission lines. Now let us start our topic, that is performance of long transmission lines. So as I said earlier, line constants of the transmission line are uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line. Okay. So, however, reasonable accuracy should be obtained in line calculations for short and medium lines by considering these constants as lumped. So, whereas in short transmission line we have seen for single phase and three phase, okay. Performance of single phase short transmission line we have seen its circuit diagram and phasor diagram we have found out the percentage voltage regulation, sending in power factor, power delivered, power sent out, line losses, transmission efficiency. And for three phase transmission line also we have seen the effect of load power factor regulation and efficiency. Okay. Medium transmission line, what we have seen, capacitance is uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line. But to make the calculation simple, line capacitance is assumed to be lumped or concentrated in the form of capacitors shunted across the line at one or more points. So, such a treatment of localizing the line capacitances will give the reasonably accurate results. So, we have seen three methods in known as localized capacitance methods for the solution of medium transmission line, that is N condenser method, nominal T method and nominal pi method. Three methods we have seen, their circuit diagrams and phasor diagrams, and their numericals also based on these topics we have seen. So now let us come to the long transmission lines. So what we are telling here, that line constants of the transmission lines are uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line. However, reasonable accuracy can be obtained in line calculations for short and medium lines by considering these constants as lumped. If such an assumption of lumped constants is applied to long transmission lines, which is having length more than 150 kilometers, it is found that serious errors will be introduced in the performance calculations. So, in order to obtain fair degree of accuracy, in the performance calculations of long lines, line constants are considered as uniformly distributed throughout the length of the line. Okay, so now we are going to consider line constants as uniformly distributed throughout the length of the line. Rigorous mathematical treatment is required for the solution of such lines. So this is a diagram showing the equivalent circuit of a three-phase long transmission line on a phase neutral basis. Whole line length is divided into n sections, n number of sections. Whole length of the line is divided, and each section having line constants 1 by nth of the those for the whole line. Okay, so what we are telling that here, this is the equivalent circuit of a three-phase long transmission line, and the whole length is the line length is divided into n sections, and each section has the line constants 1 by nth of the those for whole line. And following points are noted here. First one, line constants are uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line, as is actually the case. And second one is, resistance and inductive reactance are the series elements. Next point, leakage susceptance B and leakage conductance G are shunt elements, and leakage susceptance is due to the fact that capacitance exists between line and neutral. Leakage conductance takes into account the energy losses occurring through leakage over the insulators or due to corona effect between the conductors. Admittance is given as root of G square plus B square. Fourth point, leakage current through shunt admittance is maximum at the sending end of the line and decreases continuously as the receiving end of the circuit is approached, at which point its value is 0. So now let us see the analysis of long transmission line by rigorous method. So figure below is showing a one phase and neutral connection of three phase line with impedance and shunt admittance of the line uniformly distributed. Let us consider a small element in the line of length dx situated at a distance x from the receiving end. Z is the series impedance of the line per unit length, Y is the shunt admittance of the line per unit length, V is the voltage at the end of element towards receiving end, V plus dV is the voltage at the end of element towards sending end, I plus dL is the current entering the element dx. Okay, I is the current leaving the element dx. Then for small element dx, Z dx is series impedance, Y dx is shunt admittance, and dV is equal to Iz into dx, dV by dx is equal to Iz. So current entering the element is I plus di, whereas current leaving the element is I. Difference in the current flows through shunt admittance of the element, that is di is equal to current through shunt admittance of element V by dx, or di by dx is equal to Vy. So differentiating the equation 1, that is dV by dx equal to Iz with respect to x. So what we are going to get, d square V by dx square is equal to Z into di by dx, that is equal to Z into di by dx is nothing but Vy. Here we got in second equation di by dx is Vy. So I am substituting here di by dx by Vy. So d square v by dx square is y z v. So solution of this differential equation is v is equal to k1 cos h x root yz plus k2 sin h x root yz. So differentiating this equation with respect to x, so dv by dx is k1 root yx yz sin h x root yz plus k2 root yz cos h x root yz. So but we know that dv by dx is iz. So therefore iz is equal to, so remaining things as it is. So in this equation I am substituting in place of dv by dx iz. So I will become equal to root of y by z into k1 sin h x root yz plus k2 cos h x root yz. This equation 4 and 5. This is fourth equation, that is the solution of differential equation. Fourth and fifth equation will give the expressions for voltage and current in the form of unknown constants k1 and k2. The values of k1 and k2 can be found by applying end conditions like at x equal to 0, v is equal to vr and I is equal to ir. So putting these values in the equation 4, then we will have vr is equal to k1 cos h 0 plus k2 sin h 0, that is k1 plus 0, or vr is equal to k1. So similarly put x is equal to 0, v is equal to vr and I is equal to ir in equation 5. So we are having IR is equal to root of y by z into k1 sin h0 plus k2 cos h0, that is equal to root of y by z into 0 plus k2, or k2 equal to root of z by y IR. So substituting the value of k1 and k2 in equation 4 and 5, we are going to get the value of voltage as V is equal to VR cos h x root yz plus root of zy by z by y IR sin h x root yz, and current I equal to, here current I equal to root of y by z VR sin h x root yz plus IR cos h x root yz. Sending end voltage Vs and sending end current Is will be obtained by putting x is equal to L in the above equation. So in the above equation, we are going to put the value of x is equal to L, and we are going to get the value of sending end voltage Vs and receiving end current Is. Sending end current Is. So Vs is equal to Vr into cos h L root yz plus root of z by y IR into sin h into L root yz. So Is is equal to Vs and Is equations we got as Vs is Vr cos h L root yz plus root of z by y IR sin h into L root yz. Is is equal to root of y by z Vr sin h into L root yz plus IR cos h into L root yz. Now this L root yz can be written as root of L into y into L into z. Because see, when I put this L inside, it will become L square. So that is root yz, and root of y by z is root of yl by zl, that is root y by z, capital Y by z. Capital Y is nothing but here total shunt admittance of the line, and capital Z is nothing but total series impedance of the line. Therefore expressions for Vs and Is will become now Vs is equal to Vr cos h root yz plus IR into root z by y sin h root yz, and Is is equal to Vr root y by z sin h root yz plus IR cos h root yz. So it is helpful to expand hyperbolic sine and cosine in terms of their power series. Cos h root yz is equal to 1 plus zy by 2 plus z square y square by 24 plus and so on. Sin h root yz is root yz plus yz root whole power 3 by 2 by 6 plus and so on. Let us see a numerical based on this topic. I hope analysis of long transmission line is clear to everyone. Let us see the numerical. A three-phase transmission line 200 km long has the following constants. Resistance per phase per kilometer as 0.16 ohms. Reactance per phase per kilometer as 0.25 ohms. Shunt admittance per phase per kilometer 1.5 into 10 power minus 6 Siemens. Calculate by rigorous method the sending end voltage and current when the line is delivering a load of 20 megawatt at 0.8 power factor lagging. The receiving end voltage is kept constant at 110 kilovolt. Let us see the solution. Total resistance per phase is 0.16 into 200 multiplied by length of the line. Okay. So R is 0.16 into 200, that is 32 ohms. Total reactance per phase is XL is equal to 0.25 into 200, 50 ohms. Total shunt admittance per phase is Y is equal to J 1.5 into 10 power minus 6 into 200, that is 0.0003 angle 90 degrees. Series impedance per phase is Z is equal to R plus JXL, 32 plus J50, that is 59.4 angle 58 degrees. Sending end voltage Vs per phase is given as Vs is equal to Vr cos h root Yz plus Ir root Z by Y sin h root Zy. Now root Zy first we will calculate. Z is nothing but 59.4 angle 58 and Y is nothing but 0.0003 angle 90 degrees. So when we calculate this value, we are going to get it as 0.133 angle 74 degrees. Now Zy is equal to 0.0178 angle 148. Z square Y square is 0.00032 angle 296 degrees. Similarly calculate root of Z by Y. Z is 59.4 angle 58 and Y is 0.0003 angle 90. Divide these two and take the root. 445 angle minus 16 degrees is the answer. Similarly calculate root Y by Z. So root Y by Z we are going to get the value as 0.00224 angle 16 degrees. Cos h root yz equal to 1 plus zy by 2 plus z square y square by 24 approximately. Cos h root yz is equal to this one zy by 2 plus z square y square by 24 approximately. So substitute the values of z and y here and we will do the calculations. So this will become 1 plus 0.0089 angle 148 plus 4 times 0.133 angle 296. Then converting polar to rectangular, because addition and subtraction should be done in rectangular form. Multiplication and division should be done in polar form. Always you have to remember this, students. So converting polar to rectangular, you can do it easily in the calc. So now I am going to get in rectangular form the value of cos h root yz as 0.992 plus j 0.00469, that is in polar form it will be 0.992 angle 0.26 degrees. Similarly we will calculate sin h root yz. So that is root yz plus yz whole power 3 by 2 by 6. Okay, and root yz value we have already calculated, that is 0.133 angle 74 plus this value is 0.0024 angle 222 degrees by 6. So polar form, convert this into polar form. After polar, convert it into rectangular form. So we are going to get the value of sin h root yz as 0.0362 plus j 0.1275, that is in polar form it is 0.1325 angle 74 degrees 6 minutes. Receiving end voltage per phase is VR is equal to 110 into 10 power 3 by root 3, that is 63,508 volts. And receiving end current IR is 20 into 10 power 6 by root 3 into 110 into 10 power 3 into 0.8, 131 amps. So putting previous values in expression 1, we will get Vs value as 63,508 into 0.992 angle 0.26 degree plus 131 into 445 angle minus 16 degree 0 minute into 0.1325 angle 74 degree 6 minute. In polar form we are going to get this value as 63,000 angle 0.26 degree plus 7724 angle 58 degree 6 minute. Rectangular form we are going to get the value as 67,018 plus j 66,840, that is 67,366 angle 5 degree 50 minute. Sending end line to line voltage is 673.66 into root 3, that is 116.67 into 10 power 3 volts, or in kilovolt if we can take it as 116.67. Sending end current IS is given by IS is equal to VR root Y by Z sin H root YZ plus IR cos H by root YZ. So we are going to put all the values into this equation. So that is 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 63,508 into 0.00224 angle 16 degree into 0.1325 angle 74 degree 6 minute plus 131 into 0.992 angle 0.26 degree. So 18.85 angle 90 degree 6 minute plus 130 angle 0.26. Rectangular form we are going to get the value as 129.83 plus J 19.42. Polar form it is 131.1 angle 8 degree amps. So sending end current is 131.1 amps. Thank you students for watching the video. I hope this is clear to everyone. Today's class, that is performance of long transmission lines. So in first unit we have completed this first part, that is under transmission line theory, performance of short, medium and long transmission lines. Okay. The next will be what? Line calculations, tuned lines, power circuit diagram, and applications, corona, its causes, disruptive and visual critical voltages, power loss, minimization of corona effects. Thank you students for watching the video. I hope the performance of short, medium and long transmission lines is clear to everyone. Thank you everyone. If you have any doubts, you can ask me students. All of you give your attendance. It is mandatory for all of you to get 75% attendance to write the internal exam. So everyone should watch the video from starting till the end and give your attendance in comment section. Thank you very much.